Universal Orlando has quietly built one of the most well-rounded ride collections anywhere in the world. You've got classic dark rides that defined an era, cutting-edge attractions that are pushing technology forward, and some of the best roller coasters anywhere in the world. So today I'm counting down my personal top 20 rides across the entire Universal Orlando resort. This isn't just about intensity, it's about theming, storytelling, re-rideability and overall experience. Some fan favourites might land lower than you expect, and a few new additions climb surprisingly high in this list. We're starting off at number 20 and working our way all the way down to number 1, and the one that I think stands above everything else right now. So let's get right into counting down my top 20 rides across the Universal Orlando. Starting us off at number 20 is Men in Black Alien Attack. This is one of those classic competitive shooter dark rides where you rack up points by blasting aliens as you tour the Men in Black training facility. What makes it fun isn't just the shooting, it's the chaos. Your vehicle spins when other riders hit certain targets, which means you're constantly fighting for control while trying to line up your shots. The practical set still looks solid, especially the New York street scene, and there are hidden bonus targets that reward repeat riders. It's definitely not the most advanced attraction in the park anymore. Moving into number 19 now, and at number 19 is E.T. Adventure, and this is pure theme park history at its finest. From the moment you step into the pine-scented forest queue, it feels like you travel back in time. The practical set, the glowing mushrooms, and the slight bike lift off into the nighttime sky are iconic. The effects are dated and it's very gentle, but the final scene where E.T. says your name, that's classic Universal charm. It's not about thrills and it's about atmosphere and nostalgia. Roaring into number 18 is Jurassic Park River Adventure. This is all about suspense. The first half lulls you in with a full sense of security, with peaceful dinosaur encounters and John Williams' score playing in the background. Then everything goes wrong. The fences are down, the raptors are loose, warning lights are flashing and tension builds perfectly. And the T-Rex finale before the drop is still one of the most iconic, dramatic climaxes within the park. Yes, some of the animatronics are showing their age, but the storytelling and the 85-foot plunge still hit to this day. Splashing into number 17 is Dudley Do-Right Ripsaw Falls, which is deceptively intense. It starts off light and cartoonish, but the pacing is relentless. There are multiple drops, extended indoor scenes, and the final drop actually gets some solid airtime in the back row. This is one of the few water rides where you genuinely don't know how wet you're going to get, and the answer is usually very, very wet. On a hot day though, it's unbeatable. Dropping into number 16 is Doctor Doom's Fearfall. What makes it stand out is that launch. Instead of slowly climbing a tower, you're blasted 150 feet into the air, almost instantly. It's short, but the initial acceleration is intense. Still, compared to what comes next, this is just a warm-up. Rolling out into number 15 is Transformers The Ride. This is a high energy chaos from start to finish. Massive battle scenes, huge scale, and a fast moving ride system that keeps things dynamic and moving. It's screen heavy but delivers on action every single time you ride it. Swinging into number 14 now is The Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man. This ride changed the game when it opened. The motion-based vehicles, combined with 3D screens and practical effects, still feel seamless. It's smooth, fun and incredibly rideable, and a must-do when you visit Islands of Adventure. Racing into number 13 is Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge. This one leans heavily on interactivity. The AR gameplay makes you feel like you're actually competing in a race, and the queue through Bowser's Castle is packed with detail. It's not about thrills, it's about stepping into a video game world, but if you want something that blends immersion and physical motion, it's definitely something that you should do. Floating into the top 20, and at number 12 is Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey. This ride still feels ambitious to this day, and the robotic arm system swings you into giant practical sets such as the Whomping Willow, the Dragon, the Dementors and the Quidditch pitch. It can be intense and a little disorientating at times, but it paved the way for what a lot of Universal does today. At number 11 is Donkey Kong Minecart Madness. The broken track illusion is genuinely impressive, and the exaggerated cartoon physics give it personality. However, for me the ride can be rough and uncomfortable at times. It's family friendly, creative and clever, but now we're breaking into the top 10. Kicking off the top 10 and rising into the number 10 position is Revenge of the Mummy. This ride is the definition of a perfect hybrid attraction. It starts like a traditional dark ride with animatronics, practical sets, fire effects, and a genuinely menacing presence. The tomb scenes still hold up to this day because they rely heavily on physical environments rather than just screens. And then out of nowhere the ride launches you into a full coaster. The transition is so smooth it almost catches you off guard. The turns are tight, the pacing is relentless, and the sudden stop before the backwards section really builds tension. Add the heat blasts, scarab effects, and the fake unload station moment, and you've got one of the most complete experiences anywhere in the park. It's intense, immersive, and incredibly re-rideable. And from here on out, every ride feels like a major event rather than just an attraction. At number 9 is Harry Potter and the Escape from Gringotts. Before you even board, the experience feels grand. Walking through the marble bank lobby with the towering chandeliers and goblin animatronics sets the tone perfectly. It feels expansive and cinematic. Once the ride begins, the first tilt forward into the vault drop is a standout moment. It's not extreme, but it feels dramatic. The mix of coaster track and large-scale projection domes creates a massive battle sequence, with Bellatrix and Voldemort that feel larger than life. This isn't about airtime or raw speed, it's about spectacle, it's immersive, detailed and polished from start to finish. But now we move on to something more unpredictable. Howling into the number 8 position is Curse of the Werewolf. This ride is compact, but it delivers personality. The spinning coaster format means no two rides feel the exact same. Sometimes you're facing into the turns, sometimes you're thrown outward, and the unpredictability makes it exciting. The dark forest theming, glowing effects, and the fast transitions give it energy beyond its size. It's quick, but it feels dynamic. Add in a lineup full of animatronics, it holds up to its own being fun and re-rideable. Now we're entering the heavy hitters. Smashing into number 7 is the Incredible Hulk coaster. That launch tunnel is still one of the most intense openings at Universal. The sound design alone builds anticipation, and then you're shot straight into a 0G roll. From there it barely lets up. 7 inversions, high positive G-forces, a massive cobra roll over the lagoon. It's aggressive, loud and powerful. What makes Hulk special is how forceful it feels without crossing into uncomfortable territory. It's a classic, but it still feels relevant in today's coaster lineup. But now we move from raw force to layered storytelling. Flying into number 6 is Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure. This ride is an adventure in every sense of the word. It doesn't rely on one big moment, it stacks surprise after surprise. 7 launches keep the pacing constantly shifting. The backward spike catches first time riders off guard, and the sudden vertical track moment is one of the most unexpected ride elements anywhere. The forest theming feels dense and immersive, creatures pop up along the way, and the choice between the motorbike and sidecar gives a built-in re-ride value. It's long, varied and packed with personality, but now we enter the top 5. Kicking off the top 5 and soaring into number 5 is Hiccup's Wing Gliders. What makes this ride special isn't raw intensity, it's how it feels. From the moment you leave the station, the coaster doesn't jerk, snap into elements, it glides through them. The transitions are smooth and flowing, almost like you're banking naturally through the sky instead of riding on a steel track. The setting elevates it even more, sweeping views, carefully toned in misses, and a soundtrack that builds at just the right moments to make it feel cinematic. There's this sense of freedom to it, like you're not being thrown around, you're soaring. It's also incredibly accessible. Thrill seekers can appreciate the pacing and airtime moments, while families can enjoy it without feeling overwhelmed. And that balance is hard to achieve. You get off this ride smiling, not because it scared you, but because it transported you. Shocking to the number 4 position is Monsters Unchained: The Frankenstein Experiment. This is where Universal shows just how advanced their dark ride technology has become. The scale of the sets immediately stands out. The Gothic lab environments feel massive, with towering ceilings, dramatic lighting, and layered practical detail that makes everything feel tangible. You're not just staring at flat screens, you're moving through real space. And then there are the animatronics. They are huge and fluid, moving with a level of realism that makes you forget you're watching machinery. The facial expressions, the subtle head tilts, the way the capes and clothing move, it all adds to something that feels alive. The ride vehicle movement is also carefully choreographed. It positions you perfectly for each reveal, rotating you towards key moments in a way that feels natural and not forced. It's dramatic, it's moody, it's immersive from beginning to end, but the top 3 elevate scale and ambition even further than this ride does. Dueling into number 3 is Harry Potter and the Battle at the Ministry. Before you even board, the attraction feels monumental. Walking into the Ministry atrium is jaw-dropping. The towering fireplaces, the grand statues, the massive sense of vertical space, it feels like you're stepping directly into the films. The ride system itself is incredibly fluid. Instead of feeling locked into a rigid path, it moves in a way that allows for sweeping transitions between scenes. The scale of the showpieces make everything feel cinematic rather than cramped, and the animatronics here are next level. The movements are nuanced and expressive, which makes the characters feel present rather than robotic. You're not just watching a story, you're moving through it. What really sets the ride apart is how seamless it feels. There's no jarring shift between screens and sets, everything blends together in one cohesive experience. It's immersive on a level that very few rides anywhere can achieve. But now we leave dark ride innovation behind and step into pure coaster perfection. Storming its way into number 2 is Velocicoaster. This ride is precision engineered intensity. The first launch immediately throws you into rapid transitions through the raptor paddock. You stay low to the ground, weaving through tight turns and near miss elements that make it feel fast even before it really takes off. Then comes the second launch, and that's where everything escalates. You're sent up and over a top hat high above the park, before diving into a series of elements that feel perfectly timed. The Mosasaurus roll over the water is one of the most iconic inversions anywhere, and the hang time is unreal. The overbank turns snap you into position without feeling rough. It's relentless but never feels out of control. What makes Velocicoaster special isn't just its intense, it's how smooth it delivers that intensity. If this list was purely about thrills, this would easily be number 1, but number 1 offers something that's slightly more dynamic. Taking the top spot in this top 20, and my favourite ride at Universal Orlando, is Stardust Racers. This ride doesn't just give you thrills, it gives you energy. The dueling element transforms the experience. Watching the opposing train race along you, crossing paths is synchronised in near-miss moments, which adds layers of excitement that single-track roller coasters just can't replicate. The pacing is nearly flawless. There is no dead space, each element flows directly into the next airtime hills, directional changes, crossing moments, all timed in a way that builds momentum rather than breaking it. And the airtime is phenomenal. It's strong enough to lift you out of your seat, but it's smooth enough that it never feels uncomfortable. Visually, it's striking. Experimentally, it's complete. And emotionally, it just hits different because you feel like you're racing, not just riding. It's endlessly rideable because the duel feels slightly different depending on timing and interaction with the other train. For me, it's the most complete ride at Universal Orlando right now. Thrill, pacing, innovation and re-ride value all in one package. That's why it earns my number 1 spot on this list. And that's my top 20 rides at Universal Orlando. From nostalgic classic attractions like E.T. and Men in Black, to dark ride masterpieces like Monsters Unchained and the Battle of the Ministry, to elite coasters like Velocicoaster and Stardust Racers, Universal has one of the deepest ride lineups anywhere in the world. What really stands out for me is its variety. You've got high intensity launches, immersive storytelling, next level animatronics, family coasters, water rides, it's all in one place. There's something here for every type of theme park fan. But at the end of the day, Stardust Racers takes it for me. The dueling element, the pacing, the re-rideability, it's the ride that keeps coming back to. Now I want to hear from you. What's your number 1 ride at Universal Orlando? Did I rank something way too low or way too high? Drop your top 5 in the comments. I'm curious to see how your list compares to mine. If you enjoyed this countdown, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel for more zoo and theme park content, and I'll see you in the next video.